After 23 rounds of football, 8 finals games, 3 weeks of superstar action, we're down to 2 teams resigning with 1 premier. And if it's going to be any closer to what we've seen over the last number of weeks, this grand final could go spinal tap and turn it all the way to 11. We're here, Peps and J-Dog, to go through our grand final preview for the 2022 AFL grand final between the Sydney Swans and the Geelong Cats, to be played at the home of football. You know who I am. I'm Chris Pepper, the host, with the greatest co-host anybody could ask for. I said, bring your best game, bring your A game, bring nothing but the best, the piece de resistance. I want you to be the cherry on my soda. And he has gone formal wear if you're watching the stream. It's Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. He's had a massive day, but it is going to be even bigger this week. How are you, big fella?
I am very well. I am knackered, but I am well.
You're knackered? Now, you've had a big day. We'll get into that very, very shortly. To everybody who's listening, second last show for the year. We will be back next Tuesday for our final show. We'll recap the grand final. We'll have a bit of a chat about some news, obviously, that's been going over the last number of days. We're going to get into it straight away. We're getting around the grounds with our newsbreaker himself, Jamie the J-Dog. We're going to talk about the grand final. We're going to talk about all the surprises, everything to come out of it. It is going to be massive. But the first thing, Jamie, we're going with the listener question right off the bat, because it's going to be in our chat and it's going to be to everybody listening to this right now. I want you to get on the Facebook page, and it's simply going to be this. Who is going to win the premiership? Who is going to win the Norm Smith medal? And what will the final margin of the game be? Jamie and I will give our answers at the end of this episode. But drop them in the chat now or after you've heard this on your favourite podcast player. It's going to be a cracker, buddy. I can't wait for this. But before we do so, there's so much we have to get through. Apparently there's a football game going on this week, because there's been lots of great news, some tragic news over the last 24 hours. We're gonna focus mainly on the game, because that's what we're here for. That's what we want to talk about. I'm going to get into Sydney. You're going to get into Geelong. We're going to say why your team's going to win and why my team's going to win. We're going to spin the magnets. We're going to do all the usual segments as well too. But Jamie the J-Dog, you took the kids to the show today. Tell us about that, the Royal Melbourne show. We haven't had it for 3 years.
Yes.
We're finally back. And how was it in 25 words or less?
Hectic. Parking a nightmare. Couldn't take a normal step anywhere you walked, and don't take a pram.
Simple as that. So for all your overseas listeners, use that for your local shows. I'm going on Sunday with my kids. They've been pestering me. I said, you can go as long as I get a Birdie Beetle show bag. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I want, a Birdie Beetle show bag. It's skyrocketed its price to $3 this year.
I reckon you'd be a men's health show bag person myself.
No, because I prefer the women's health. Because then I can rub all the exotic oils.
True. You get
and
a little
moisturisers
one of the
my wife, because she is an absolute superstar and deserves to be pampered every single day of the year.
One of them Peps. You can get a dress in the show bag with a hat.
Well, I saw the Birdie Beetle show bag, the $20 one, and it comes with a bucket hat with the Birdie Beetle
Worth it.
on it.
Worth it.
Oh, it is worth it. It is worth it. You can only buy the Birdie at Showtime.
100%.
Hey,
Yes.
let's get into it. Just a quick thing.
Yes.
Didn't do a Tuesday night show because we wanted to get into the teams, and a massive selection bomb to come out of that one, which is I did not see coming. I don't think many people saw coming at all. We'll get into that shortly, but it was the Cats over the Lions by 71 points in the prelim.
Yep.
I went to that game. Within 10 minutes, you knew it was over.
Done.
It was done. Geelong, their chaos football, which they have not played before this season at all, just too strong.
Well,
It was very much like what they copped last year with the D's.
Yes.
And then probably the game of the year. And I reckon this team have had about 5 or 6 of them. Collingwood losing to Sydney by 1 point. 17 teams around the AFL were cheering. And the black and white were tearing after that game as well. It was a cracker, J-Dog. Just when you think Sydney had it in the bag, Collingwood did what they do best and fought back and got it within a point. And, mate, if they went another 5 minutes, Collingwood probably would have run over the top of them. They went into their shell a bit, the Swans.
The last 3 minutes was good.
This week.
But last 3 minutes was great.
Oh, isn't that what finals footy is all about? That is why the best teams make it to the last couple of weeks.
Well, Peps, I came in here to talk about my big story from the games on Tuesday on our regular show.
Yep.
I was going to say the Lions will not win a premiership under Fagan.
Yep.
How
well, they might not have a choice now.
How prophetic would that be? With a headline like that now.
Yeah.
Because they can't play the MCG.
Oh, they can. They did the week before.
It's an atrocious record. One game in 14 years is an atrocious. Since 2014 is an atrocious record.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't think it's. They only play down there a couple of times a year, if that. Yep. Don't worry about that record. It's a bit of a skewed state.
Hey, it's where it's played. It's where the grand finals played. It's where the
exactly
finals
where
played.
the grand finals played. They smashed a team last week that was pretty much running on fumes the week before. So I'll give them that one.
Yeah.
But their game style just didn't hold up. Geelong are just too well drilled. And where they were weak last year, they filled those spots.
And they did not take the foot off the throat at all. No. Geelong.
It was a really nice game to watch, and friends of mine were there, Geelong supporters, and a smile on their face. And a big shout out to Mr. Craigie Wessels, the host of a Yank of the Footy.
Yes.
Yank of the Footy. He is a massive Geelong supporter. He'll be up at about 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that game on this weekend. He is chomping at the bit. I reckon there could be tattoo action for Mr. Wessels if the Cats get across the line.
Well, they've done it again. They've done it again.
They've done it again. I've bagged them, I reckon, a couple of years ago about, I hate to be Geelong turning up and not doing anything. Take all that back. If they're doing that every year and making prelims year after, I'd take that. Remember how I said I wouldn't?
Oh, yeah, you know how to massive fight about it.
Yeah, I'm changing it. After going and watching footy and watching finals footy, and when your team's not there, you want them to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So...
We're doing news?
Absolutely massive. Yes, we are going to get into the news. No ladder. Don't have to do the ladder anymore. That's gone.
Done.
So it's time to get around the grounds, J-Dog, and I think that means that we're going for a bit of... It's time for Around the Grounds with Lace Out's #1 newsbreaker, Jamie Wallis. Over to you, big fella. All right, big man.
Yes.
Get into it. Just get into it. Let's talk about it.
Let's start at the start of the week.
Elephant in the room.
No, we're going to go start of the week.
Start of the week.
Paddy Cripps.
Yes.
I think that is probably the second most successful argued lawyer case after the OJ trial.
Yep.
Getting him off and then him going on to win the Brownlow. Well done, Patrick Cripps and his lawyer.
And that was a Dennis Denudo moment if I've ever seen one.
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
If the bump don't hit...
Amazing.
You can't belt up the crip. Oh, I don't know. Look, it was...
Good count.
I've watched it time again, and how we got off, I've got no idea.
Good count, though. Good count.
Oh, good count. And you know what I felt sorry for? Tuke Miller.
Oh,
like, he was there. He had it.
Yeah.
He had his hands towards the sky, towards the sun, saying, I finally made it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, could not get across the line because of Cripsy. But tell you what, you have a look. It was a great count. West Coast have set the all-time record for the lowest number of votes ever by a team in an entire season.
Yeah.
That's another record that they've taken off the D's. So finally, we got one. We got rid of one. We got rid of the greatest margin in the grand final. Thank you, Port Adelaide. And now we've got the lowest margin in a Brownlow count. Thank you, West Coast. So we're starting to chip away.
You are. You're starting to lose them.
We're starting to lose them. But yeah, it was a great count. Like I say, I like the Brownlows pretty much like Bathurst to me. I watch off to the fast start. And I go away for a few hours and I come back just to see the hectic rush towards the end of the line. Brownlow red carpet. I must admit, I do watch that.
Yeah.
There's never So many ugly-looking blokes have absolute stunners on their arm. Clayton Oliver set the bar really high for redheads around the country.
He does. Cripps posted 29 votes to win. Lockie Neal 28. Took Miller 27. And Fremantle, the best Brayshaw, Andrew 25 votes. And Clayton Oliver and Chris Machaka on 25 for Clayton Oliver and Machaka 24 to finish equal 4th and 5th respectively. It was all come down to that last game. Blues versus Collingwood, and where Cripps polled the maximum 3 votes and got over the win. So well done, Cripps.
And you knew watching that game he was taking the piss. He was taking the piss that game too. So you knew that he was going to be getting votes.
Yeah.
Just how far. But a popular winner. He was smashed last year. Last couple of years he was pretty much broken down, and to get his body back, getting some support in that midfield has changed his year. And if he can have another year like that next year, there's no reason why Carlton can finally break that hoodoo of making finals. The only team ever in the AFL, I think VFL history, to play every single round in the top 8 and fall out in the last week.
Yeah.
Not a good stat.
No. All right. Let's talk about it then, Peps.
No, one more. Buddy signed on.
Oh, Buddy signed on.
Booty signed on.
Weird signing. What weird to announce in the grand final week.
Oh, maybe.
Wait until after.
Look, it could have been one of those questions to say, hey, you know what? Is he signed? Is he signed? What are you going to do? It's a weird one because if he'd won, you think that might have been like a Shane Crawford moment where he could have hung up the boots.
I think you would have.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to talk about it.
Let's get into it. I know it's something that we have to talk about because it is news.
It's grand final week.
It's grand final week, and over to you.
All right. So, off the back of Collingwood's Do Better report last year, Hawthorn decided to perform their own external review of the club and Indigenous players through the history of Hawthorn. The report was released last week to the AFL and Hawthorn Football Club, and this week has come to the media, released by an ABC journalist. The name's leaving me right now.
Mike Egan?
Something like that.
Matt
yeah.
Egan? Yep.
Essentially, the allegations have come forward that that a player during the time of Alistair Clarkson and Fagan and many other assistant coaches, there has been some just shocking stories coming out of it. The one report they're all talking about in the media at the moment is around a player basically being told to leave his partner and terminate the pregnancy of his partner's child, and to basically leave the house, come live with the assistant coach, and whilst you're in the room in the meeting with us right now, get your SIM card out of your phone, tear it up, and we'll give you a new one. We do not have contact with your ex-partner or with your partner. And that probably brings to a lot of other stories we heard about with Cyril Rioli and the treatment of him and his wife under Clarkson's tenure there.
That was more a Jeff Kennedy issue, that one.
Correct,
The
but
main
it's still
reason
talking
why.
about the Hawthorn external review. It's all associated. At the moment, it's all allegations. I'm not going to hang anyone about anything until there's more. If it all is out to be true and it's investigated properly and it's come out that it's all true, disgusting, despicable, tainted, anything to do with Alistair Clarkson and even Fagan to that extent. Fagan and Clarkson have stepped down from their respective roles in their football clubs. North Melbourne, supposed to start on the 1st of November. He has stepped away, and Fagan has stepped away from Brisbane Lions as well to... to cooperate fully with the inquiry.
Yeah, I think there's also been a couple others who have stepped down from their roles as well,
Yep.
too. One of them's one of the coaches of one of the private colleges here in Melbourne. He's decided to step back a bit as well.
Yep.
Big.
It's big. It's a big story, and
It's grand final week, and so the timing of it, I don't get. But it probably was the best week to do it because it is the week that the entire country's eyes are on the AFL.
yeah,
So when I first read about it and heard about it, first thing I went with was Melbourne done again? And
Yep.
it wasn't us, so that was finally. But the thing that sort of threw me, J-Dog, after going into it a little bit, and look, I'm not an expert on this scenario, whatever, okay?
yeah,
But it's just interesting the way it's been reported, where Clarkson and Fagan apparently haven't been spoken to
Yep.
So they went with these allegations, didn't mention any of the players' names, and didn't speak to the coaches either, or the two main parties involved.
Correct. Yeah. Hawthorn didn't contact any... Oh, sorry. Hawthorn didn't... AFL House didn't contact Hawthorn or contact Brisbane Lions or anyone.
And unfortunately, the way of social media and everything that's going on with that, are these guys guilty before being proven innocent? It seems to be already that they're being tarnished.
I think that's it's done. Like it's done. It's done. I don't think they'll coach. I can't see them returning to coaching.
Even
AFL.
if it's not proven at all.
It's hard. It's so hard to come back from that. And I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying anything about that. But
Could they then sue for defamation?
I don't know.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer.
I don't know. I don't know. But
Donna J has just come in. They're guilty. Spell check obviously wasn't on when she threw that one in there. But I don't know. There's three sides to every story. The complainant, the other, and the people in the middle as well too.
Yeah. Look, it's a shit. It's just a shit.
It's a shit one.
It's shit for the indigenous players, which had seemed to be in the eye of Clarkson, and the stories around the investigations around it and talking about it in the club. Yeah. It's just, unfortunately, wounds are always these are wounds, and they're gonna hurt a lot of people. And yeah, until the allegations are fully investigated and everyone's talking to and all of that, one thing out of this, I just hope it doesn't get swept under the rug. I hope the AFL doesn't get involved.
I think because there's an external party looking at it, I don't think they can sweep this. It's too big to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
At all. North Melbourne will be just sitting back going, oh my God, we had it, and now haven't we got him? What's going to happen? You've got potentially two clubs now without coaches.
Oh, then you got
three with Essendon as well too. No one wants to coach Essendon.
Yeah. And this
no one wants to. No. And regardless of what anybody says,
yeah.
All right, everybody's been saying no to Essendon. It's understandable. Andy Bridge, he's on the chat tonight. He follows Essendon. Some of the garbage he spits out during the chat every week. We love him. We love our Lace Outlaws. But it could be three clubs without coaches. And at this time of year, moving into trade week, a lot of players are going to be sitting back going, mate, if you can't tell me who's coaching the mob, why would I stay? What about the players who've already signed up because Clarkson was going to be there?
Yeah,
Could they said, hold on a second, I signed up because he's here and now he's not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know the whole story, and I don't want to comment on it. I reckon by when we come out next week, we'll find out some more information. But Donna J's come out with a ripper. She goes, I don't think it just happens to the Indigenous players. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to the regular,
and Keegan's probably,
Keegan's
probably right as well.
Yep.
There's probably every club that has, treatment of this. We can all do better and learn better from it. Learn to be better. But far out.
But also, Jamie, is there context? Like, once again, you take those lines out with no context around them whatsoever. They are really damaging. You've got to get the whole picture, not just one puzzle piece.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. Do you need context to someone who's telling a story like that? Do you need context?
I do. Yeah, I do, because I hear it and I go, okay. But people couldn't be that stupid, could they? Like that's what I mean. And why has it taken so many years for it to come out then? That's the other thing that sits with me, is like, well, why is it taken so long for this to come out? I just don't know. I just don't know. And once again, Charlie Keegan, a perfect thing. There is no context for pressuring a player's partner to get an abortion. I agree, Charlie. But when you put that statement by itself, yes. What's the whole context behind it? I don't know why it was said.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Is there other issues?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. And that's why I don't want to make a comment on it. And that's we wanted to address it, but we didn't want to spend an hour talking about it because we don't have all the facts, and this is one where we need to have them. So when we come back for our last week, next week, we might have a little bit more. Yeah. Hey, comment.
Yes.
J-Dog, did you know that
Yes.
Casey Demons won the VFL Premiership with a 32-point win over Southport on Saturday?
I did see
Sunday?
I did see that.
Jeez! Bang, 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 bang,
I
bang.
did see that.
Reigning AFL, reigning VFL, and now the runners-up to the WAFL. How good are we? We are the best club in the land right now. Right now. And Mitch White, BOG, congratulations to you, big boy. All right. Let's have a chat about this weekend, J-Dog. Let's have a chat, okay? News of the week, AFL style. Tell us some of the things that are going to be happening this week, especially once the game has been won and done. What have you got to tell us?
Oh, are they just going to do something this year?
What do you mean?
What are they going to do, Peps? What are they going to do?
What do you mean?
What are they going to do? Are they going to do something fun? Are they going to do a float this year? Aren't players going down the river this
Oh,
year?
you're talking about the grand final parade will be down the
tomorrow.
Yarra. And then I wonder if
down
they're
the
all going to be
river?
pardon?
Down the river?
They're going to be doing the river. Then they go onto the cavalcade down the main road. So they're doing a bit of both. They're changing it up, J-Dog. Don't get too carried away, all right?
I
Don't
just
have a
get
sook.
carried away when it's just doing that. You know?
Yeah, it's just because
a
it's the
river.
AFL. It's just the AFL.
All
They
right,
just do
sorry.
things a little bit differently. Sydney will use the monorail. We'll use the Yarra.
All right. Let's talk about it. All right. So, who's going to present the cup? Peps. Paul Kelly will present the cup if Sydney wins. Cameron Ling for Geelong. I think that's pretty fair.
I like that. And Paul Kelly also presented them when they won the 2005 as well. So, some synergy there.
Nathan Buckley to present the Norm Smith. So there's a bit of the old, maybe boys club again. Nathan Buckley redeemed himself now.
No.
Redeemed himself.
What did he redeem himself from in the first place, buddy?
Well,
He did nothing
the
wrong.
do better report again.
Oh, get over. He won a Norm Smith. That's why he's presenting it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, you've got to do
All's
better
forgiven.
with your
All's forgiven.
research.
All right. So what else are you going to do? You got Robbie Williams. He's going to be singing.
Yes, and guess who's going to be in there as well? The old chair spinner herself, Delta.
I don't. Rumour or just Kylie or Delta?
No, it's Delta. Delta's going to be there.
Delta is going to be
Delta.
joining. So that she's good for a song.
ever.
Hasn't done anything for 20 years, but okay,
She
no
did
worries.
something to me about 4 weeks ago when she sung the national anthem.
All right, so Peps, here's the biggest problem though, Peps.
Yep.
Tony Jones raised it last week on Sunday Footy Show.
What is it?
Only 34,000 tickets for members, the rest for corporates.
3 words for you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit, mate. Bullshit, mate.
We know it's a corporates game, the grand final.
There's no cash here.
No tickets.
Here, there's no cash. All right? Cash, no.
Any
Robbo?
tickets?
No cash.
No tickets. There's no tickets. It sucks.
So both
That's
with
why
very
the
healthy
preliminary final weekend is the best weekend of footy because you get... Mate, I went to a game last week where there was 90,000 Collingwood supporters.
Yeah.
Amazing. Mind-blowing. It's not going to be like that this week. Yeah, you'll get a boisterous crowd, but you're not going to get 2 teams that have over 100,000. It's wrong. It shouldn't be. 50-50. Should be 50-50. Minimum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always been a corporate ticket. The guys who can spend 10 grand on a breakfast or a lunch and get a ticket thrown in as well. Like, it's always been a corporate thing.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, Jamie, I know about 4 people who are going to the grand final, and they all got their tickets. So I don't know who's missing out.
Yeah. So
Everyone I thought would be going is going.
both very healthy membership lists for both clubs, for Sydney and Geelong.
Yep.
So 34,000. Look, I've gone to a grand final before. It was an an AFL Gold member. But I've been before once. That was a nice experience. But Tony Jones did raise the fact that for most fans of their club playing in an AFL grand final, they won't get to see their great team playing a grand final live.
Exactly.
So that's kind of sad. But
Like
once
Essendon,
again,
like all those Essendon supporters, they got 190,000 of them. They won't even see them play finals.
Peps,
Not
it's
even
second
grand
last show.
finals. Finals.
All right. So
Hey,
Peps.
couple of shout outs, right? Because the chat is going absolutely kabuchka here. Donna J's going Geelong for premiers. The Roo Boy, after he got stuck into the D's last week after their performance, your team North, they're going all right in the last 24 hours, Roo Boys, so don't go throwing stones in glass houses, young man. Craigie Jones from the Portress, he's asking for Hawthorn to fold or go to the retirement village. Delta, got a thumbs up also from Charlie Keegan.
Hey,
Roo Boy, why don't you have Hugh Sheridan again? Roo Boy, what do you want, mate? This is why we do the show early on a Tuesday and not Thursday, because people are loose by Thursday. My mate's going. He's a huge Swans fan. Good on him. I'll be there when Essendon make it next year. What are they making there? Making a run for the finals, Andy, or a supporting act at the finals? Oh, I don't know. And it should be 70-30. Craigie Jones reckons it should be 70-30. Charlie Keegan also reckons that if they raided the MCG on Saturday night, they'd find more cocaine than Escobar's butt crack. You're probably right there, Charlie. You're probably right. But, yeah, it's going to be great. Temper Trap are going to be playing. Your one, G-Flip, is going to be playing as well too. One of Australia's hottest up-and-coming acts, Goanna. They're playing as well too.
I don't mind a bit of
Mike
that.
Brady will be there. Oh, it's just going to be a corker.
I don't mind a bit of Goanna.
I know. So what's your favourite Goanna song?
The one, the Australia rock one?
Solid Rock, Standing
it.
on Sacred Ground.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that song.
Beautiful.
Hey, you thought you were going to catch me out there, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I did, but you didn't. Couple other things as well, too, before we get into the actual gaming side of things. Craig McRae, Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Do you agree with that one?
I think so. From 17th last year to the game before the grand final prelim, yeah.
Yep. And Troy Chaplin, the assistant coach.
Assistant. I had asked Coach of the Year. I'm like, I don't know that Troy Chaplin is dabbling into just doing squats and lunges.
No, that's his brother. No, that's his brother, Troy Chaps. He's the coach of the year. But yeah, Troy Chaplin, the assistant coach of the year. So well done
can't have
you,
it. Can't have
gentlemen.
it. I will never clap Troy Chaplin. Never.
He's one of yours, isn't he?
One of ours. Once was, and then went to Richmond and left a nasty email.
He did.
Players. Yeah, he did.
Mm.
Ask Craig Jones about it.
Oh, Jonesy might throw us something. Troy Chaplin's a fuckwit. Craig Jones, sorry about that, but that's what he said. So he's gone straight into it as well too.
Told you.
All right, let's have a look at this game, J-Dog, because this is going to be an absolute corker. We're talking about the Sydney Swans. We're talking about the Geelong Cats, 2:40 p.m. Bounce Saturday afternoon, the proper time it should be played. I'm going to have a look at it from a Sydney perspective. You're going to have a look at it from a Geelong perspective. But before we go ahead and do that, there has been some announcements at the selection table. And normally there's a hard luck story because someone's being injured. But this was a little bit left field, J-Dog. Did you want to go into it and tell the listeners, if you haven't heard, the massive selection made by the Sydney Swans this week?
Logan McDonald has been dropped. Dropped. I don't know. Kicked one goal in the last 7 games or something like that. Like nothing spectacular. 1 goal from 10 games. Sorry, 1 goal from 10 disposals. His side's 2 final victories. So he's done nothing really.
He hasn't done much. Mind you, at one stage I didn't even know he was playing. That's how lean he was at that particular
Is it a risk
moment.
bringing in Sam Reid though?
Well, you're not bringing him in. Is he injured? I reckon they'll give him to the last moment, but don't be surprised if somebody else gets brought in as well too. So I wouldn't be too...
20-year-old Peps, 20-year-old getting dropped in the grand final.
It's well, the first thing, he's the first number 6 to be dropped for a final in many, many, many years. Normally number 6s are not just dominating finals, they're captaining them.
Yes.
So it's going to be a tough one for him to swallow. Hopefully his head's in the right place, but you never know. Something could happen in the next 24 hours. You never know what's going to happen. Charlie Keegan's written, drop Buddy, not Logan.
It's a bold
Charlie's
move.
been at the MCG.
It's a bold move, Charlie.
The Escobar. It's a very bold move. Very bold move. All right, if you're listening to us right now live, we want to know in the chat who's going to win the premiership, by how much, and who's going to be your Norm Smith medalist as well. So we want it in the chat or
All
drop us a
right.
message on the Lace Our Facebook page.
So let's go through it. Lineups, Peps, who's in, who's out. Go through that, please.
All right, Geelong, no change. Here, no change.
Even though
Scotty?
Max Holmes got an injury in the last game,
Yep, but they reckon it was more of a neurological.
the hamstring
Injury.
strain was neurological. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually a tear, it was the signals going
Right.
through. So it might be back, yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
awareness.
Awareness, exactly right. But I was at that game and I saw him go off and belt his head against the ground. It's like, he's done a hammy.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to sort of see, but he's trained all week. You never know. Hayden McLean has been brought in. We mentioned Logan McDonald is out. Outside of that, teams are as selected from the previous week.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
right.
So, J-Dog,
Mm-hmm.
because you are the younger statesman of this team, I'm
Yes.
giving you the opportunity to just go into why Geelong is going to be the winner this weekend. And more importantly, just give us 3 things that you think are going to set them apart from the Sydney Swans and who's the player to watch out for.
Okay. Peps, are you a fan of Formula One?
I don't mind it. I know you're hardcore. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Lee Mack was here as well too, he'd be on board with you.
He'd love it. Yeah, yeah.
He'd
So
chubs,
for
he'd be
those
chubs up.
for those who are fans of Formula One, we go into every race weekend now, and we sort of know. We know the quality. We know the quality from the chaff. We know the wheat from the chaff. We know who is going at the top. We know who's going down the bottom. Peps, and it's simply this: Geelong are the Red Bull of the AFL League this year. They are miles ahead. They've got a forward line that functions. They've got a midfield that gets their hands on the ball and dominates. And they've got a back line that stands up with run and with amazing marking ability drifting across that half-back line there. But really, the game comes down to this. Their forward line is so dynamic and is so hard to match up on and has so many individual playmakers in that. And I know we talk about a team of champions, always been a champion team, or whatever the bloody saying is, the other way around. The other way.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Geelong have got it all. They've got the champion team, but then they've got the individual stars that run through that forward line and that high half-forward position that can turn the game. And Geelong are going to do this in an absolute canter. I'm saying 45 points.
45 points, J-Dog.
It's not even going to be close.
Okay.
I just think there is no matchup for Jeremy Cameron. There is no body matchup for what Tom Hawkins can do, which is push in the back, obviously. Hashtag Geelong life. And Stengel is too dynamic in the forward line. And Gary Rowan is having a breakout final season. I think this is it.
You reckon the planets are aligned?
I reckon the planets are aligned for a Geelong. And I've been on Geelong since week 2, week 3. Even though Melbourne have won 10 in a row, I said I'm not writing off Geelong at all, and I'm following that horse to the end. That's it for me, Peps.
That's it. Players to watch out for, are they the ones?
Yep. I think so. I mean, like, if Brian Meyer starts getting their hands on it more, Tyson Zenger's more involved. You got Cameron. You've got that in the front there. But I mean, yeah, if it's not going to be the Camerons or it's not going to be the Hawkins that's going to rip you apart. It's going to be a Gary Rowan who's going to take marks in the forward pocket. It's going to be a Stengel crumbing off the packs. It's going to be a Brian Myers running to the pockets, taking leads and marking goals and snapping from the body. Like which way do you want them to kill you? Because they're going to kill you whatever way you want to go.
Fair enough.
They've got so many avenues to go. That's just it. The midfield will tear you apart. Like, what do you want to do? If you don't kick the ball on the ground and direct down to the back line, you're going to have the boys back there just absolutely chopping it off. Stewart, taking cross marks there. You've got the other one, De Koning, who's going to take a big body. He's going to take Buddy probably. Biggest assignment in the AFL 6 years ago. Now, not so much.
Still a big body, but we'll get
Still
into
a big
that.
body.
Sure. We'll get
Anyway.
Yep.
I just think there's just so many ways to kill you, Peps. I think that they're just so dangerous, and that's why they won the minor premiership by 2 games clear.
Interesting. Good point.
Anyway, that's you.
Good point. Hey, tell you what, that's not Jamie Wallis. He's come out He's come out with the big yes. You do get the round of applause. Very, very well presented. All right. J-Dog, do you like movies?
I do like movies,
Do you like
Peps.
sports movies?
I do like sports movies, Peps.
Do you like baseball?
I love baseball.
Have you seen the movie
Movies.
Moneyball?
I have seen the movie Moneyball, Peps.
There's a scene within the movie Moneyball, Brad Pitt being the GM of the team. And he's going in and they're doing a scouting report. Who are we going to pick up in the draft? Who are we going to trade for? And everything along those lines. And
Sitting around
they're
the
all
table.
sitting around and
Yep.
they're all talking about it. And he's just sitting there going, this is just crap. You're picking out the same people. You're picking out the same things. And, you know, there's one old bloke, he just cracks his shits. And he says, Pitty goes, come out with me, mate. We're having a chat. He goes, listen, what's wrong? You know, the way that you've been doing things, the way that they walk, the way that they talk, etc. You can't walk like that anymore. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Everything is changes. This game now isn't played how it was 10 years ago. You have to adapt or die.
I do remember that line.
Exactly right. And that is John Longmire to a T. John Longmire, he is the Swiss Army knife where he adapts. For this week, we need to use the screwdriver. Next week, we need to focus on the bottle opener. It's coming to grand final time. Guys, throw out the plan. What we are going to do is we are just going to use the file and the toothpick. They're adaptable. This is why this team is so good wherever they play. They have got their champions, but they are so even across the board. But it's not a player perspective. It's a game plan perspective. Mm-hmm. They are able to adapt their game plan for whoever they play against. They played Melbourne a few weeks ago. Took their run out, took their contested game out, smashed it. On the weekend, up until that last 15 minutes of that last quarter, they just took the run out of Dacos. They took the run out of their forward line. They put the hold on Goey. They adapted. This is why this team will win, is because they will adapt. And here's how they would do it. Buddy Franklin doesn't have to be the Buddy Franklin from 6 years ago, J-Dog. He's still he's a bit like Space Mountain. He might not be the newest ride in the park, but he's still the one with the longest line. He's the one that the big bodies have to go to. That's the first person they go to. They don't worry about anybody else. We have to stop Buddy. And if you watch the way he's been playing over the last couple of weeks, it hasn't been about him having to kick all the goals. Mm-hmm. He's about bringing the ball to ground, running up the ground, leaving space for the others to drop into. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at people like Isaac Heaney popping up. And he just doesn't pop up. He stands on shoulders. He's a ground level expert. He is sublime. You have him in the forward line and Buddy. Well, there's two that you have to worry about. You also have then this guy, Mr. Tom Papley. He is a serial pest. He's the Peter Hoare of the AFL. He's the person everybody hates unless he's on his team. I watch the way that he plays with passion, anger, and intensity, and I want him on my team. Someone has to monitor him all day. Mm-hmm. All day. Mm-hmm. Then you've got this midfield. The midfield of the Sydney Swans. You've also got to have to stop someone by the name of Chad Warner. Who's going to play on the Chad? Dangerfield? Mr. Selwood? They're too busy having they're not going to get hands on their jumper. They're still going to be walking on their walking frames, going from centre-half forward to centre-half back. Callum Mills, All-Australian? Another one who's going to pop up. Justin McInerney, did you see his intercept during the red? He reads the game like a librarian, this bloke. He's a gun. So there's another one that they have to watch out for. So for Geelong's back line of, being the Red Bulls, that's great. But they have to be accountable. John Longmire will say, don't bomb it in the air. Keep it low and keep it fast. That's where you beat Geelong. If you don't give Geelong's backmen time and energy to set up behind the ball, you can catch them out. And they did that earlier in the year in Sydney. And they'll remember that was Buddy's 1,000th goal. Should we go down to the back line? You've got the McCartan brothers. You've got Tom and you've got Paddy. Just standing there, two big units. They can take Tommy Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron. And you know what? I reckon Nick Blakey will go to Jeremy Cameron because he's an aerobic beast. And when he's down in the back, in the forward line, playing one-on-one, then I think Paddy will go to him. Tyson Stengel, are you taking the piss? Which one of Jake Lloyd or Dean Rampy want to take him? Gary Rowan, it's a grand final, it's at the MCG. Well, he's just going to get scared by the ghosts of grand finals past. He's played his finals. I don't think he's going to be able to continue it. He'd be lucky to get 10 possessions for the game, J-Dog. Tyson Stengel, Ollie Florent will be all over him. What about the love bite, Mr. Hickey? Who's there? Reece Stanley? The love bite. He took the P155 last weekend. He was a brilliant acquisition for them. So don't worry about the ruck contest. They've got that. And then you've got Luke Parker on Cam Guthrie, two older statesmen of the team. Cam Guthrie will probably go and ask for people's footy jumpers like he did to Gary Ablett Jr. all those years ago. Or Chris Judd it was, sorry. All those years ago. But here's where it's going to be won. It's going to be won by the people on the bench. I'm talking about Robbie Fox. I'm talking about Dylan Stevens. I'm talking about Robbie Clark and Hayden McLean.
Who?
Because in finals, it's not about your top six that win your grand finals. It's your bottom six. And I think the bottom six of the Swans are more desperate. I think they're cleaner. And I think their footy IQ is a hell of a lot more than Brad Close or Mr. Dreadlocks himself. Or who else should we throw in there?
You take Robbie Fox over Zach Guthrie.
Oh, any day of the week.
You take Dylan Stevens over Brian Myers. You take Tom
any
Atkins.
day of the
You take
week.
Ryan Clark over Tom Atkins.
Oh, not Tom Atkins. He's had a great
You take Hayden McLean over Max Holmes.
Max Holmes has got a bad hand. Doesn't matter, all right?
No, awareness.
But what I'm saying is, I like the way that they're set up. I think they don't rely on anyone. They've got the best team defence in the league. I know I would say that Geelong's backline are probably more sublime.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say from a team defence and the way they work as a unit, but just their adaptability. And here's the thing as well. If it doesn't go to Sydney's terms by half-time, I have the feeling and I have the confidence that they'll be able to come out after half-time and have a completely different game plan and have players in completely different spots and be able to turn it on. I reckon if Geelong get behind, they're going to start to panic. And will Scotty have the testicular fortitude to swing the magnets and change the game plan up? I don't think he will. And that is why Sydney are going to win. I'm saying by 3 goals at the most. And that is why my Norm Smith medalist for the day will be Isaac Heaney.
Okay. Isaac Heaney. All right.
Yeah, I'll give myself a round of applause.
Well done. No. I haven't given mine Norm Smith yet, have I?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Mine's
Okay,
a Jeremy.
now,
Mine's a Jeremy Cameron.
Reckon Jeremy Cameron? Oh,
Easily.
look, any way I look at this, J-Dog, I'm just excited for this game. They're two contrasting styles. One's run and gun. Sydney are probably the best outside of Melbourne, the best contested team. They love contested possessions, and when the game gets hot, I think they embrace it even more. And it showed on the weekend. I think they went into their shell a little bit too early, and that's what cost them.
Do you know what?
But I just want it to be a great game because it's not my team. I want
it to be a good game as well. Look, to be honest with you, when Collingwood went down, I was actually probably a little bit disappointed. I thought Collingwood's probably got the team and the midfield to really tackle Geelong, as opposed to Sydney. And that's my heart of hearts. I'm not trying to be a smart ass and wind you up. That's what I was feeling.
I know, but that's the way that Sydney play. They can go fast or they can go slow. They can go wide or get you through the middle. You can't plan for all of those scenarios. And that's what I love about John Longmire is just adaptability to go, you know what? I'm not going to wait until next half. I'll make a change now.
I do.
And that's
you're
what
right,
I
Sydney,
love about him. He's just from a tactical now. He would have been sitting back all week going, I know who's their dangerous ones. I don't think Danger's going to have another week like he did last week. You're not going to have another week like they were playing Fremantle. Fremantle were woeful.
Yeah. Well, the pressure's on Geelong. Like if you look at who's got the pressure on them, it's all Geelong.
Oh, they're going for their 17th win in a row, aren't they?
Something mental. Plus, they've also got all the older players. Like you got the Dangerfield story about what does he do now? He went for a premiership, missed. Blah 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 blah. Joel Selwood, Hawkins, Isaac. Wrong one. Sorry, the other one. What does Gary Rowan do?
Go missing.
the Stengel story 18 months ago without a contract, and now
it's
he's
the same with
now
Paddy
he's picked up.
McCartan. A year
Same
ago
as
he was
Paddy.
out and about. He was gone. He was finished. Career over.
Isaac Smith, what does he do? Does he just play for 1 year and get a premiership and then retire? Like,
Yeah,
there are so many good stories out of this.
There's so many good stories, and
Sam Reid, what a journeyman for Sydney Swans. Premiership, throw it in.
I'm just loving it all. I'm just loving everything about football, and it's just footy for the first time in a long time. Grand final week here in Victoria has got its gusto back.
Yeah, it's
You know,
good.
it was there, but we can talk about it. We can go out. We can do everything about it, and we can have friends over, and we can have a beer and a barbie,
Yep.
and have a Norm Smith sweep and everything. It's going to be
Have
awesome.
Dane Rampy for a premiership. That'd be great as well for Dane Rampy. Like, it's just
Jakey
good.
Lloyd.
There is a lot of good in the Sydney team. There are those absolute what are they called? Statesmen. You just love to see them in a premiership.
Yeah, they're just.
I mean a couple
they're
have
furniture,
already.
mate. They're furniture of the club.
A couple have already with back in the early 2000s. But anyway,
No, none of them have.
no, Dan Rampy wasn't he there for the
Don't
06
think
or
he was.
07?
No, 2012.
Oh, 2012.
He might
Sorry,
be the only one.
Yes.
I'm
Right.
not. I didn't prepare that much. Like, I
No.
didn't expect you to throw me that question.
No, that's
All
all
right.
right.
So I'm going Sydney by just maybe 3 goals or under. You're going by a bit of a blowout, 40.
45 plus
Yep.
with Cameron to be the Norm Smith.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I like it. Alrighty. Hey, J-Dog.
Yes, my friend.
I have time to. I've got some magnets I want to spin. Do you mind?
Go for it, mate.
I'd love to spin some magnets if that's all right with you, because I want to start with.
3 votes.
I've got to start with 3 votes, and I know
3 votes.
3 votes. My first one was the finals for this year have been brilliant, have been sensational. The second best, I'd say, the second best final series in the history of the AFL, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, overall, they've been close games.
Second best.
Second best to which
Second
one?
best. 2021.
Oh, I was more of a fan of the 2019, to be honest with you.
2021.
2019 when you went to West Coast and you didn't kick golf the first half of football. That's pretty good.
That was 29. Yeah. Anyway, Patrick Cripps, 2022 Brownlow medalist. We've spoken about it. One vote clear of Lachie Neal and 2 of Tuke Miller. A great result. A great result for footy. I reckon it was absolutely sensational. And the news of the Magic Round. I don't know if you heard about the Magic Round.
Explain to me, Peps.
Jay,
I don't
did you
get
hear
it.
Did you hear about the Magic?
Oh,
the
a
Magic
little
Round?
bit, but explain it to me. I don't quite get it. It's an NRL-inspired something or NFL or something. But
Yeah, well, the Magic Round. The Magic Round. So what they'll do is they'll have an extra round of footy, and like the NRL do, every game will be played in the one state over the weekend. And it looks like they're pushing it for New South Wales. They've only got 2 football grounds, haven't they? Oh, no, hold on. No, they'll play some at Sydney, and they'll play some others at probably Canberra and at the showgrounds. They've
What's
got 3. Okay, they've got enough.
What's the point?
I don't know. It's just because we've run out of ideas. Oh, I don't know, to grow the game or something along those lines. I've got no idea. All right. For the second last time this year, we are going to be running with a bit of
Haley off Ellingworth on. Bloody winkers piss.
Mr. AFL himself. Mr. AFL. Craigie Jones says it's coming to Adelaide.
Be bad.
Interesting. All right. First and foremost, it's
Good on
been
the
dragged,
lines.
and thank
Yeah.
goodness they got rid of this. The music between goals.
What's wrong with it?
Okay, you're a dick. It will be removed between goals, and it's another Americanism that's crept into our game, and it has been confirmed that it will be removed for the grand final.
What's
I don't
wrong
know if
with
you've been to if you have, unlike me, you haven't been to any finals, and you want to have a chat about a goal with the person next to you or whatever, and you can't even make a phone call because there's crap music of Offspring's "Give It To Me, Baby" going off.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be played, Jamie.
Well, they play it all the time
Seriously.
in cricket in 2020 and
You
and
play
one
that Never
days.
Tear Us Apart crap before your game, but apparently Troy Chaplin's email almost did. All right? And it's only so many more times you can hear John Denver at the Gabba. So it doesn't need to be there, right? The crowds are big enough. My train line, here's another one, my train line. Metro trains, can I give you a hint? When there's finals football in Melbourne, don't put the trains on delay. All our trains will put on delay. No trains, buses from the city.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, that is brutal. An hour and a half to get home. from the city.
You should have drove
No.
in and parked at the MCG.
Oh.
Like you usually do.
Yeah, I almost got towed, so I'm not doing that again. And I want to say one thing with I have to drag the Brownlow coverage. Can we stuff the fluff?
What do you want to do?
Can they just get on with the votes and make it about the players? Too many interviews, the whole Buddy 1000. We could have cut an hour out of that coverage. Just keep the red carpet, though, please.
What did it finish at? 11:30, 12 o'clock in the
Start at
end?
7:30.
Oh, it's a long night.
It's a freaking long night.
Yeah.
And one other one I want to drag, the media for having a crack at the players because they sculled the odd beer or sipped the odd red wine. Like, give them a break, mate. They're only human. And I'm tipping if we put a camera on some of the barbecues that you're going to over this weekend, you'll be doing exactly the same thing. So,
Shoeies.
shoeies,
All of that.
braries,
Nude runs.
G-bangeries, everything. They're all going to be done. You don't get much out of a G-banger. It's mainly a shot. But there's my magnets for
All
this. Alrighty.
Second last magnets.
Yep, second last
Gary
magnets.
Rowan will not be in that next week. I
Oh,
guarantee
he will. He'll
it.
either be in the 3 votes or he'll be dragged. Mankini. Couldn't get much out of a Mankini, Andy Bridge. Alrighty. That's about it.
I love it. I love reading the comments. I
The
love
chats are just
Craig
coming
Jones.
through.
Makes me laugh. He's
I know,
playing
they're talking about
his little
it's all-
game at Thebe Oval. Yes, they're trying to redevelop it. I know that. I would love.
Cripps didn't deserve the Brownlow.
It's great. It's
Hey,
great.
it's coming to the AFL. It's coming to the NRL. I mean, it's coming to the Adelaide Oval. Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. Wherever they play, it's awesome because it's the number 1 sport in the world. It's AFL. It's the best reality TV show in the world.
Well,
Stuff your Kardashians.
I'm pretty sure the AFL Grand Final is called the World Championships, isn't it? The World Series.
No.
This is the World Series.
Yeah, do you know why? It was called the World Series, Jamie, because it was named after the World newspaper. That's why it was called the World Series.
It's the World Series.
Well,
The World Champions.
doesn't matter. And
Geelong-
yes, Tuke was robbed. And Clayton
Geelong
Oliver
going to
was
be the
robbed.
World Champions.
You're an idiot.
All right.
Why do we do this show together? All I end up doing is abusing you by the 58-minute mark of these shows.
All right. So we had a question about what's our thought on the new AFL game, Peps.
I haven't played it.
Looks all right.
I haven't played it.
I haven't played an AFL. I haven't played an AFL game for ages though.
I haven't played one since the Nintendo. Out of bounds on the full.
No, that was a good one. That one.
That was the best. Out of bounds on the full.
Had
You
to
just
blow the
kept kicking
car-
it out of
you had
bounds.
to
so
blow
you
the
get out of bounds
cartridge
on the
out.
full. Pardon?
Just keep blowing the cartridge out to make it work.
Yeah.
I'm not a big gamer, to be honest with you. So I'm not really sure.
AFL Evolution 2 is the game there, Craig Jones. For any of you youngies that tend to get on the gaming systems.
I'm not too sure. There we go.
Okay. That's it, my friend. Oh,
That's it.
trades. Now, listen. Trades, we're not going to worry about. Because there's that much happening at the moment. And there's lots of stuff. There's no point getting into it now because once the grand final finishes, I can tell you by Monday or Tuesday, it's going to open up. There's going to be free agency, all that sort of stuff's going to be kicking in. But it looks to me, J-Dog, that... Actually, can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure you can. Sure show.
It's our show. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of these players nominating clubs.
Why?
Why should they nominate the club that they want to go to?
You pick your job, don't you? You pick where you want to go. You apply for it. You go for it.
Yeah, but my employer doesn't have to then go and speak to that other employer and find a mutual agreement.
I have to give dodgy references for
Especially if I've got a contract.
you. I have to give shit references for you.
Yeah,
I work at Pep. Yeah,
I
great bloke.
work with Jamie. He's a good
Yeah, he's
bloke.
a great bloke. Yeah, great
that's
communicator.
Fantastic. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I want to nominate this club. Because the only clubs being nominated at the moment are the same ones: Collingwood, Richmond,
Yeah.
St Kilda. I don't know what they've got in their water.
North.
North need it. It just annoys me. I just don't like it when clubs. I want to go to this club.
It's
no,
'cause
you're
no
under
one
contract. But no, if they're unrestricted, if they're not in contract, mate, go to any club you want. But if you're under contract, well, you want to leave, fine. But we'll do the best deal that's best for us.
I agree with that.
That's what I would say. If you're under contract and you want to leave, so be it. But we will find the best contract and the best conditions for us and not for you.
I think the Freo have held Rory Lobb to that deal for a couple
Pretty
of
much.
years now.
Yep, they have. They're
We-
going to get rid of 7 others, but they're going to keep Rory Lobb.
I think they've said twice to him now, saying
Yep.
we've got no trade that's suitable for us. So you're going to stay. You're going to stay or play for us.
And,
So
and,
whatever.
that I agree with, because he only signed a brand new contract
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Just as one thing that's been annoying me. I want to go to Richmond, and GWS should be going, mate. We'll send you where we think we'll get the best for you.
Yeah.
Don't tell us what to do.
Like NBA style.
Yeah, sure. I'd
Ooh.
love some NBA style.
And then you're up to a bit of mid-season stuff as well, Peps?
I would love it. I would love
Really?
it. I actually would. I thought no, but then I reckon, well, hold on. You know, there's
I thought
clubs
you
who
were a
need
no.
Well, if clubs need a ruckman, bring a ruckman in.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with it.
Okay.
I reckon there should be a bit of trading, because there's
And
players at your club that aren't getting games. They should be going to clubs that they can.
Yeah, I want mid-season trades. I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
I just don't know how you're going to do it though. It almost have to be straight, swap for swap,
Yeah.
because you
I
don't
mean,
know
that's-
what your ladder position is at that particular time, which is going to affect your trade position and your spots available in the first, second, third, that's etc.
Yes,
I do like the one. I do like the other one where they'll take on other clubs' debt for their draft pick. I don't mind that one.
Other clubs' debt. So you're talking about like the Grundy deal or something, or the
So
Stevens
no,
deal,
what I
or
mean
whatever?
is I think
So
it was
we'll-
like
we'll
Gold
take up
Coast need to
300,000.
shed money from their
Yep.
shed money,
Mm-hmm.
or might be the other way. They've got money in their cap.
Yep.
Might be that like North got money in their cap. We'll take on some of your debt and we'll get your draft pick back.
Okay. So you sort of buy it, like just cash buy.
Yeah. So something along those lines. I think there's some merit to it as well too. Other than that though, scrap the academy picks. Just keep it at father son. It's getting too complicated now.
Yep.
Getting way too complicated.
All
You know
right,
what's
let's have a
not
quick list.
Sorry.
No, I'm just looking through. Joe, yes, Grand Final Parade is on the Yarra River, going down
Yes,
the
it
floats. Very
They'll be doing it on
good.
floats, and then they'll be going down, I think, Collins Street to Parliament. Can Richmond get enough picks to get Taranto and Hopper?
Oof.
Ooh, I don't know what they've got at the moment.
Don't know what
Depends
they're
on what they get out, and if anybody's leaving.
Yeah, well, there's talk of kind of Port.
Should the
Someone.
northern clubs get a cola again so they can compete? Well, then I could also say, does that mean that the southern clubs, as an example in Adelaide, get their salary cap reduced because it doesn't cost as much to live there?
Well, I think they sort of scrapped that with zoning and stuff. I think zone sort of did all
It's
that.
It's not going to happen. It's too hard.
Just,
Just don't buy a house. Just don't eat.
what game, Joe? What games at the moment? Australia versus New Zealand. 1-0.
Soccer. Soccer.
Oh, soccer. There we go. That's why I don't care.
You're a knob. All right, listeners. Hey, look, everybody who's joined us live tonight. It's been one of the best. I've absolutely love it. They haven't done the longest kick. That's tomorrow. So all those festivities, the festival
tomorrow?
of fun. Yep, all happening tomorrow.
What?
The festival of fun. Yep.
Not happening on Saturday.
No, they're probably doing it tomorrow.
Why?
They did it on the Friday. They didn't do it on the Saturday. No,
Did
they
they?
did it. No, but remember they did it on the Saturday because it was a later grand final. Could be tomorrow. Oh, look,
It has to be
you know what?
Saturday.
And there's going to be more people in the city tomorrow.
Super
it makes
Boot.
more sense. Yeah.
Super
Hey,
good.
listen. J-Dog, you're a star. You know that. Listeners, Lace Outlaws, you are stars. Next Tuesday night, it is going to be our final episode. So if you want to be part of the show and you want to join us live, send us a link, send us a message, be part of the show, give your thoughts on the 2022 season. So, great show, mate. Absolutely superstar. Knocked it out of the park. As always, like a midget on a urinal, you keep me on my toes. I'm Chris Pepper. That's the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallis. And as always, for the second last time this year, Jamie Wallis, how do you want your grand final footy?
I want to lace out.
Have a great week. Go Swans. Go Cats. Go
Cats.
AFL.
See you, listeners.
See you, listeners.